You wanted bigger, you wanted more adjustability, and you wanted stronger? Well, we listened. Introducing the new range of remote reservoir Formula F4R shocks and coilovers. These things have been specifically engineered and formulated for results to transform your four-wheel drive. Let's take a look. Now there's so many fantastic features about this new range of F4R shocks and coilovers that we've just released, and one of my favorites is the design, the strength of them. They've got a super tough steel body with anodized aluminium mounts. Now in layman's terms, that basically just means they're strong as heck. You're gonna be able to jump these bad boys, absolutely rally bash through the bush. They're gonna withstand anything that you can throw at them. They are tough as hell. Plus, like the fronts do, even the rears have got 26 clicks of adjustability, which means you can get a really soft ride or a super firm ride and really dial in the suspension to suit the terrain that you're going to be driving your vehicle on. Now obviously the F4R range has got a massive body, a huge monotube design with a massive piston in there, plus the remote reservoir canister means not only does it have a massive oil capacity, Castrol oil capacity to be precise, but it also means you're going to get exceptional cooling, and the shock's going to stay cooler and perform better for much longer than some of our competitors out there.
The F4Rs shown in this video are the first iteration of Formula's 4x4 remote reservoir shocks and coilovers, released specifically in this instance for the Ford Ranger PX3. The Brisbane-based Formula 4x4 engineering team are going to continue to develop and modify the F4R remote reservoir kits well into the future to build the best shock on the market, period. One important thing to note is that no two vehicles are the same, meaning that constant R&D is essential to bring you the best. A 79 series front end is going to have way more space in it than a Ford Ranger would, for example, which means shocks are going to be subject to change in terms of dimensions and with the suspension requirements of each vehicle. Why am I telling you this? We just want to make sure that you understand that each F4R remote reservoir shock specification will vary depending on the vehicle. However, no matter what four-wheel drive you have, the Formula 4x4 engineering team have made sure to build the best remote reservoir shock so that you can get the best on and off-road performance. Most importantly, as we get feedback from you, our loyal and epic customers, our engineering team are going to continue to make changes and improve the F4R shocks. If you're watching this in 6 months' time or outside of the year 2022, then rest assured we've continued to improve and tweak our F4R Formula remote reservoir range so that it is and always will be the best in the market. Now, whilst the team have been focused on dialing in the Ford Ranger range first, don't be alarmed. We've got most modern dual cabs covered, as well as your big solid axle Patrols and Land Cruisers also. If you're watching this video in 2022, a large bulk of the range should be available by the end of the year, so keep an eye out. If you're watching this video outside of 2022, then the F4R range should be available for most vehicles. Either way, you can always go to the Fulcrum website and search for your four-wheel drive to see exactly what's available. If you want to check the development of the F4R shocks for your specific vehicle, you can also give our friendly team a call or send us an online message.
This set of coilovers and rear shocks have been in and out of our test vehicle almost 100 times. They've been on the dyno up against competitors for up to 24 hours at a time. They've been rebuilt more times than I care to poke a stick at, revalved, played with, adjusted, torture tested, and there's nothing wrong with them. They are absolutely perfect, and I can't wait to get them in your vehicles. Now, the engineering team here in Brisbane live and breathe this stuff, and this has been the brainchild of a couple of the guys for years now. They've been collaborating together, working hard to bring you the best possible remote reservoir adjustable coilovers and shocks that we can. There's so many features that make these products fantastic and set them apart from the rest. And you guys have been asking for it. Bigger, more adjustable, tougher looking, and just quietly, we've absolutely hit the nail on the head. You've got aluminium, aircraft grade, anodized billet mounts, top and bottom. You've got Super Pro bushes where we can, lifetime warranty. A heavy duty 58mm bore steel adjustable body, which has got a massive oil capacity, which is going to help keep these cooler for longer and perform better than just about anything else out there on this market at this price range. The threaded body is important to know as well because it means they're height adjustable. We're going to send these out to you with a 2-inch lift, but if you want 3 inches available, it's just a matter of winding that coil up or down to find the ride height that you like. These blue springs right here, nothing like it on the market. They are made specifically for us, designed by us for this new set of Formula F4R front coilovers. They're going to ride a little bit more comfortable than just about anything on the market, whilst giving you fantastic off-road performance and articulation when you need it the most. We also have a high quality, high pressure stainless steel braided line going to the remote reservoir canister. Speaking of the remote reservoir canister, it's one of the largest on the market, which means it's going to help your shocks perform better for longer. They're rebound and compression adjustable over 20 clicks, as well as being height adjustable like I mentioned, which means you have the ability to fine tune these and nail the setup in your particular vehicle.
Now we thought we'd quickly take the time to run you through what we mean when we're talking about adjustable rebound and compression in the F4R range. Having the adjustability simply means that you can fine tune both parameters positively or negatively depending on the surface or terrain you're traveling on in your four-wheel drive. Rebound is referring to the rate at which the shaft of the shock is being pulled away from the body, or extending to put simply. Compression is, as the name suggests, the rate of which the piston and shaft travel back towards the shock body, compressing the oil after hitting a bump, for example. Fine-tuning both of these will allow you to stiffen or soften the ride, and therefore adjust the behaviour of the shock on the fly.
But might I add that each shock, whether it's for a Ranger, a Hilux, an Amarok, or anything like that, is going to be valved specifically to suit that vehicle already. So you're not just getting some generic product that you then have to go and adjust. If you're not quite happy with the valving, you change your vehicle setup, you go into a much heavier or a much lighter setup, bring it back to the team here at Brizzy, and we can rebuild them for you. We've also got our very own Shim Stacks that we've designed, as well as a flutter valve, which is going to help this shock perform better than just about anything you've ever experienced. Now, what does that all mean for you guys? Well, I don't really understand it. It's all engineering speak, but what I do know is that this is a fantastic product. You're going to get bigger, more adjustability, longer lifespan, and it's going to transform the way your four-wheel drive performs, both on-road and off-road. But for a little bit more in-depth technical details, I'm going to hand over to one of the lead engineers on this project, Richard. He's going to run you through a bit more information.
For this F4R Ranger front shock and rear shock, we've developed our own pistons. We've developed it with a tapered port, which gives us a nice long port length, smooth flow, low turbulence, low cavitation risk. We've also given it a recessed center, so we have the ability to run digressive, or with a spacer we can even run progressive. We've also done a little bleed hole because we were struggling to get a little bit of low speed control, but that's enabled us to do that. As you can see here, we're doing the FEA analysis on this piston that we're using in the shock as we were talking about before. You can see the flow comes in through the outer ports around the upper shim stack on the unused side, and then out through the inner side, out past the shim stack. This is allowing us to analyze the properties of the ports on the piston. This enabled us to decide on the best design of piston for these shocks. This here is some footage that we filmed of the car driving over the speed bump. We can do this with various speeds, various loads, various shock settings, various shocks in the car, and we can assess the behavior by tracking fixed points on the car. So we can see the hub moved up over the bump, and we can track how the guard moves in relation to that, and that'll give us shock speeds, but you can also see how the seat on the car moves up and down with different bumps, and that helps us to assess the ride quality in various situations. We can do the same thing for bumps and handling changes and all those kinds of things. Once we've finished with the dot tracking, we then export all that position data to Excel and do some analysis there. We do a little bit of smoothing to get rid of some noise, as well as general analysis. So we export displacement data, which is this line here. We then derive that one step, and you get velocity data against time, which shows, in this case, shows us how quickly that seat is moving up and down. We then derive that one step again, which gives you acceleration, which shows you how fast you change speed. And then we derive that again, which gives you jerk, which is the rate of change of acceleration, which tells you how smooth the ride is. We've also got a couple of shim stacks here. You can see for the rebound here, we run 2 spacers, so we run a tiny bit of digressive in it still, but we also have a little flutter stack here, which enables us to have that on-road comfort and also turn the clickers up. You get that really good supportive feel when you're hitting stuff hard.
Meanwhile,
It was a pretty rocky section, and one of the things I love the most about these F4R shocks is how easily it soaks up those rocky sections. Here in Queensland, we've had a little bit of adverse weather, as you guys probably know, and it means that the tracks and even just the access roads are so much more rutted and washed out than what they normally are. So to be able to dial these front coilovers and rear shocks in to be nice and soft and forgiving means that I'm absolutely able to rally bash down these dirt roads and not worry too much. It just soaks up all the bumps, super comfortable, super quiet ride, and with those huge anodized aluminium mounts, I know that if I'm a little bit rough on the gear, nothing adverse or untoward is going to happen. Then, the best part is for the blacktop drive heading home, I'm going to be able to stiffen these right up, and this car's going to handle like a road car would on coilovers. Absolutely epic. You guys know me, I wouldn't sell you something that I didn't truly froth and believe in. And just quietly, this is no word of a lie, I've been busting the balls of the R&D team here in Brisbane to build me a set for the 80 series because I'm in love. So in love, in fact, that I don't reckon the boss is going to get this Ford Ranger back anytime soon. Now, if you're not technically savvy like myself, or you're worried about fitting and setting up the new Formula F4R range in your vehicle, the full F4R range will be available through our Click and Fit network, which gives you a revolutionary way to buy your suspension online and get it fitted locally. We'll send your parts directly to the store you nominate. All you have to do is arrive on the installation date. Click and Fit is only available through Fulcrum's class-leading website though, so jump over to fulcrumsuspensions.com.au, price up a set for your car, and if you want the hassle taken out of installation, choose the Click and Fit option. We'll tackle the tough stuff for you. If you want to take your four-wheel drive to the next level, then you need the new range of Formula F4R suspension fitted, remote reservoir, adjustable, and better than ever. Head to fulcrumsuspensions.com.au or give us a call on 1-800-FULCRUM.